Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today, and man, oh man, it is May, Xbox fans. What does that mean for you? A month riddled with rumors and speculation, and that's the most fun type of month because we're heading in to the Xbox and Bethesda showcase happening on June 12th. We got some rumors courtesy of my boy Randall Thor 19. We also have new rumors on Forza Motorsport that do paint a picture for what Xbox is looking to do this holiday season. And last but certainly not least, Ubisoft Plus coming to Game Pass, new Game Pass games. We have much to discuss in this video. So ladies and gentlemen, get cozy. If you're new here, consider subscribing because we're definitely going to be pouring on the Xbox news updates. It's May. We're heading into that big showcase. There's going to be a lot to talk about before and after that. So hop on board if you have yet to already. Now let's begin. Thanks to my boy Randall Thor. He comes in hot with the scoop, host of the Xbox 2 podcast, Great Xbox channel if you have yet to check it out. While usually it's his co-host Jez coming in with the scoops, Rand has made some of his own, and he has a pretty decent track record. Now, of course, this is a take it with a grain of salt type of moment here. Don't run a million miles with it, but let's discuss, of course. So this comes from PureXbox.com, where they write Randall Thor, who forms the Xbox 2 podcast with Jez Corden, dad of Xbox, featured on another podcast recently to talk all things Xbox. The host discussed Xbox's upcoming showcase and how he's heard that almost all Xbox teams have submitted stuff to be shown next month. Quote, I did hear through the grapevine not that long ago, almost virtually every studio has submitted something for the show. Almost all of them submitted something for the show, and some studios submitted multiple things. That's where things can get cut, end quote. The reason I wanted to point this out is I think this would explain to some extent why Xbox never indicated in their write-up here for the Xbox and Bethesda showcase that they don't have a time limit currently for how long this will go on for. We don't know if it's an hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It looks like they're still determining what will and won't be shown. Granted, they're revealing this to us a lot earlier than last year. We learned about this in April. Last year, it was much closer to June, towards the later part of May, that we learned about the Xbox Bethesda 2021 showcase. So things were much more solidified then. I'm sure we'll hear details in the coming weeks on this showcase. But for now, let's talk about the rumor my boy Rand put out there. This would make a lot of sense. I've said this again, and I'll continue to say it won't be the last time you hear it. This is the year Xbox has to go hard. Expectations high for this one. My expectations were in the middle for last year. I was like, okay, we're still on like that half step to a new generation. I'm expecting some future proofing here like they did with the Outer Worlds 2. I'm expecting some current things like we knew we were going to get our burger, shakes, and fries with, of course, Forza, Halo. We knew what was coming. This year, there's a lot of mystery, right? That's the key here. There's no real indication outside of Starfield and Redfall what's really coming. We do have another game that is likely heading into this fall that we will talk about that's setting up maybe a 1-2-3 punch for Xbox. For now, what we're looking at is something that I think is very plausible on a rumor basis. The idea that these studios are getting ready to show things. When you look at when a lot of these teams were acquired with like Hellblade, with Ninja Theory, of course, in 2018, they just showed something at the Game Awards. So I'm not fully expecting something from them, but I could totally see them saying, hey, we got a release window in mind. Let's tell them it's coming in the middle of 2023, like in the summer or something like that. I could totally see a situation where inXile wants to reveal their brand new game. I could definitely see a situation where, as I said in our previous video about the Xbox Bethesda showcase, that Obsidian takes the lid off of Avowed and we actually get a true look at it. I could see a situation where Fable gets a true reveal, although I think they're going to punt that one a bit deeper. That's my personal speculation, but it does feel plausible that everyone might be ready to show things because there's so many secrets right now baked into a large first-party family. Many of these games have been in development for multiple years. A lot of them have been announced via just CG trailers. So it's time with this showcase for that next update on many projects. And that could set up for a phenomenal show. So this is a rumor that I can bite on a bit. I trust my boy Rand, of course, but I'm saying just objectively speaking, this would make sense if you just look outside of the rumor at where Xbox is as a company and where they're heading, where the prediction is, hey, end of 2022 is the start of that new era for Xbox. New stuff we haven't seen from them before. I just want to throw this out there. I'd love to see what Compulsion Games is working on. They have been mighty quiet. I just love to get a CG announcement for something like that. There are plenty of avenues that Xbox can take. I don't expect to see everything from everyone. Like, I don't think Everwild's going to be there. I don't think Perfect Dark is going to be there. So I kind of wash my hands of those types of reveals. It's going to be a very tumultuous month here as we go through many reports like this. This certainly won't be the last, so prepare yourselves. Now, I mentioned one more holiday game for Xbox, Forza Motorsport. This was announced back in 2020, and I know for a lot of you out there, you may have that Matty energy, right? I'll always remember it. The 2021 showcase, I'm sitting there, I'm bitching and moaning about Forza Horizon 5. And I got lit up for it, and I learned my lesson, and I know it's not a sexy game, but we cannot undermine the importance of Forza. And I think for a lot of you out there, it becomes a lot more tantalizing when we have new stuff in the mix, right? It's different last year when you have Halo, Age of Empires, kind of these known quantities mixed up with Forza. It's a familiar formula, minus Age of Empires, that we've seen from Xbox for some time. However, this year, if we're looking at a picture of Redfall, Starfield, and Forza Motorsport, I feel like it's a little more appealing, right? Because it's a motorsport game, first and foremost, not the open world Horizon racing games, but also that this is something that we haven't seen in quite some time, really. We've seen a Forza game, but we haven't seen a true motorsport game in a while. It's been in development for multiple years over at Turn 10. But let's get into the latest report here, and we'll talk more about Xbox's holiday picture, because it's saying that these leaked images suggest the next Forza Motorsport is coming to Xbox One after all. This is very interesting because if you go to Xbox's official website, you'll see that it is listed as a current-gen only game. However, you go to Reddit and they say Forza Motorsport Xbox One. I'm tired of people saying it's next-gen only. Here are some pics of the Xbox One build from around last July. Now, I hope you all understand I'm not going to show these particular leaked images, given that it doesn't really show anything in the first place outside of like a car in a garage. But I just want to err on the side of caution right now. But then it was verified here on Reddit that the original poster verified the source of these screenshots with us. They are legitimate. This is from one of the mods on the Reddit Gaming Rumors and Leaks thread. Now, what was really interesting as well is this is in a post from DualShockers, which I couldn't find this in the thread, but they say according to the leaker, the game will be, as I just mentioned, a cross-gen title, and it seems like some content creators had already had the chance to play it. Why is this all important? Again, I know it's not like a sexy game to talk about, but what we're trying to do here is narrow down the holiday window for Xbox and what's going on. If you're paying very close attention, we learned about, say, Shadowrun Trilogy. That's going to be a June day one Game Pass drop. And that's where you started to see last June, Xbox set up this whole entire roadmap for what they were going to do for the second half of 2021. And I feel like you see some pieces coming into play here for Xbox, this being one of them. I do totally see a 1-2-3 punch this fall where maybe we have Forza Motorsport in, I'm going to say, October, and then you have Redfall in front of it in September, since it's still slated for summer officially. So far, that's all we really know about it. And I do think that there's a chance that gets delayed because we haven't heard much about it. Plus, that's what originally a source had told myself and Lord Cognito. We shared that on Defining Duke, that it may slip to the later part of this year, not out of the year. So it wouldn't surprise me if that did end up getting bumped back. However, Ghostwire Tokyo taught me a valuable lesson that Bethesda will have a game announced for a while and go like, coming out next month. So I could totally see Redfall being like, we're coming out in 3 months. Anyway, what I was trying to do is paint a holiday picture there where I could see Redfall in September, I could see Forza Motorsport in October, and then of course we know Starfield is sitting right there in November. And we know Xbox isn't afraid to pile it on anymore. Just their own actions alone have proven to us that they can load up these reveals, these games right on top of each other. And I do think we're looking at a 1-2-3 punch. That is currently my prediction of the September, October, November, based off what we're seeing here and knowing that Forza Motorsport is continuing on. The fact that it's a last-gen game is a little surprising. I kind of thought this fall with like Redfall and Starfield symbolized like we're making that step forward. We'll see. This leak does seem to be legitimate, but again, time will tell on this. Forza is the cash cow, right? While these prestige projects like Starfield are trying to push people to get the brand new consoles. Time will tell. Of course, with xCloud, you're able to access these games across all platforms, which is awesome to see. Let's keep it moving with more rumors and speculation here. This comes from Reddit as well. Ubisoft Netherlands says Ubisoft Plus will be on Game Pass soon. And you can see in the replies here, someone asked if it's coming to Game Pass being Ubisoft Plus. And they say soon. This, to me, I don't know about this one. I could totally see this being a complete error. I could also see it being true, but I'm going to lean on the side of it being an error that, like, Ubisoft Netherlands, of all places, is going to leak this top-level decision that we're going to bring this subscription service strictly to Xbox Game Pass. It has been rumored since the beginning of 2021 that Xbox Game Pass and Ubisoft Plus could forge an alliance of sorts. However, when it's coming from Ubisoft Netherlands, I could totally see this being a misunderstanding of, like, are you coming to Xbox? Yes, soon, which is what they currently have in play. They are bringing Ubisoft Plus to Xbox so you can access your subscription on Xbox, which is separate from Game Pass. Maybe that was the interpretation there. What I'm trying to say is, don't run away with this one. This doesn't reek to me like a true rumor. And Maddie from the editing room here. This is becoming a trend where I record and render my video, and then hours later the story is cleaned up. There was a clarification provided by Ubisoft, which writes, "Apologies for this confusion. This was a translated comment from the Ubisoft Netherlands Instagram post. We need to get this straight. Ubisoft Plus is coming to Xbox in the future, but nothing is known about Xbox Game Pass yet. For example, Rainbow Six Extraction is already available for Xbox Game Pass. Sorry for any false hopes. No further information is known about this yet." So, as always, there's still a chance, but much like I was indicating earlier, I wouldn't have bought into it. Here is more of a clarification that says it's not happening, but it could also possibly happen. We know Ubisoft isn't in the best of positions, but for now, this is a story that will not develop any further, and maybe we'll learn more at this summer showcase. However, if I'm wrong, and we do see this happen, and Ubisoft Plus does come to Game Pass, that is a huge announcement. That'll be the biggest addition to Game Pass since probably EA Play, and we've seen the dividends that the EA Play relationship has paid off for Xbox with how soon we start to see these type of games come into Game Pass. So I think it's smart of Xbox to kind of create this hierarchy of subscription services that feed into their own, because everyone seems to benefit from it. All right, last but certainly not least, current Game Pass games coming out this month: Citizen Sleeper, Danganronpa 2, Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, Loot River, This War of Mine, Final Cut, Trek to Yomi, and sneaky move here, NHL 22. That's smart because the NHL playoffs are on right now. Let's go Rangers. So honestly, that's a pretty good add to this month. A lot of day one games like Citizen Sleeper and Trek to Yomi. Really looking forward to trying these out. Xbox, man. Gotta catch my breath here, because y'all picked you picked an old game that I'm really having a tough time resisting here. Danganronpa 2. I love Danganronpa, and seeing that the second one's coming means that the V3 is gonna be coming, man. And oh my god, V3 is one of the best games ever, in my opinion, right? Like a top 50er for me. Like, the writing, the ending blew my friggin' mind. I still think about it. My friends and I still debate this ending, and that game came out in 2017. I know it's not so old, but we still talk about the ending. We're like, yo, what did you think about it? Like, we still are checking like it came out just about a month ago. It's insane. So seeing Danganronpa 2 is there. To all those of you out there who have not played Danganronpa 1, this is your call to arms, okay? I know we got spicy day one Game Pass games. I've talked about them in a multitude of videos. You already know how I feel about Trek to Yomi, Citizen Sleeper. Go check those out. But look, if you have not played Danganronpa, you're looking for a cozy visual novel that ramps things up and gets really intense as you're trying to solve who's killing who. Some of the best writing in the industry. This is such a spicy video game series. There's a real feeling of tension, and it's had a tremendous amount of influence on how I like to create things, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, please check this game out if you have yet to. I am not steering you wrong on this one. Have faith in your boy. Get to the end of chapter 1. If you don't like it then, you gave it a fair shake. Get to the end of chapter 1, though. I don't want to say more than that, but just know Xbox is listening, and I'm hoping that they get Soul Hackers 2 day one on Game Pass. I've put that prediction out into the ether on a multitude of occasions. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the news we got today for Xbox. Certainly, there will be more to go over in the coming days and weeks. So again, if you're not subscribed already, consider doing so now. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I pass it off to you. What do you think of everything we discussed here in today's video? Fire away. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. And a big thank you to all the patrons, all the members who continue to support the hell out of the content here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.